much that I love you. Let me tell you, me once it. Let me tell you how much that I love you. You found me no search. It's like you knew that inside I was hurting. I was so young, said no chance. But you gave me a shot at a romance. I feel like you were like an angel sent to bring me life. Now that I'm with you, me one say that me love you, that me love you, that me love. Hey, me know go one day, wonder. Without my baby, without me love, without me love. And no dance and sing and a ting, because you make my life complete. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's for me. Shut up, 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 shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's for me. I've never felt this way. So when they ask us, say, oh yeah, we're going all the way. Tell me we happy, love you all the time and things. Sometimes I wonder if the thing could cut us under, to get under, handle. But your love in my life control that. I lay down my life this way. Do anything to make you stay. All of the blessings they come my way, and all the bad things they turn and away. Sometimes life is such a scare. Your love gives me the strength to bear. Oh, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's funny. Shut up, 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 shut up.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's for me. Woo, girl, it is a lot. Listen, let me tell y'all this shit. Oh God. First of all, it's been a very, very long day. Welcome to the beautiful people up on the panel. We have Truth Be Told, Malika and Aubrey. We are waiting on Mr. Speaker Box himself, Queen Nika, and Phoenix Tarot to come over. It has been a long day. I just said, Siri, play Cash Doll. You're doing too much, because Quatita's been doing too much all the fuck day. Let me tell y'all what happened. Greetings, Nika.
Greetings, greetings.
Woo, y'all. Let me tell y'all what happened. Hold on, let me let people up. Okay. Greetings, Shanji.
Hey, what's up? Y'all all right?
Yes, well, I don't know.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be hitting my mute button a lot. I'm in the kitchen cooking, and I don't want to have all the extra background noise.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Let me tell y'all what happened. Oh, there she go.
What's up, Queen Nika?
Oh, it's True Tarot.
Greetings.
555. Greetings.
What's up, G?
Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
Greetings.
So, as we get into this thing today, let me just briefly tell y'all what the fuck just happened. It has been a long day. So I had went to the speaker box this rising, and that's where this kicked off at. And then I've had readings today. I've been packaging packages today. I was just real tired because this drained me. This whole thing today has drained me, man. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing my last session. Luckily, I've done her before. She is a cousin. And so I've done her before. I'm so sleepy, Aubrey Marie. I'm so sleepy. My last one was at 6 o'clock. So they tell you this just happened. I'm so motherfucking sleepy. And I'm just trying to stay coherent inside of this reading. You hear me? I get to the last 2 minutes. It's over. And I'm just telling her, like, hey, honor your ancestors, put your brother picture up. I hear her say, air fryer. I said, what? Put his picture up on the air fryer. I said, is that what I said? She said, you mean altar? Bitch. I didn't tell her to put her fucking brother's picture up on the air fryer, bitch. I was so stupid. I had no idea what the fuck I said. I had no
the air fryer.
On it. I said, is that what I said to you? She said, you mean altar? Yes, please let me off the phone. I gotta go. I can't take no more. I'm under pressure. I'm stressed today. Mm.
Are funny.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So, we're going to be talking about the melanite woman because of what happened today. What happened? Oh, Miss True Tarot, you tried so hard to hold it together today.
I did.
Tell me what you felt today.
um, I felt like it's just a bunch of deflecting and confusion, and not telling the full truth of how they feel about black women. Um, because we can clearly see that it's a problem. It's all over social media. So
Yeah.
they can try to make it about religion. They can try to make it about everything else. But the truth of the matter is, you were born from a black woman. So how do you hate the same thing that created you?
And you feel like they hate us. I do feel like there's a strong dislike. I feel like we're tolerated, that we're not liked, we're tolerated.
Definitely. Or when they need something.
Yeah, especially if they go to jail. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Papu said on that interview one time, he said, I went to go see my wife in prison. It was no men waiting in that waiting room.
None. I
But
saw another woman say that too.
and it's Miss Cotita.
That's okay. That's how I felt all day. I told Mr. Shanji, I said I wanted to fight. Like I was ready to rumble. I could have shot up everything. I was so angry. We talked about it all day. We've had a meeting about it. Like we couldn't even conduct our meeting because we could not get past this.
Right. It definitely
Oh, I
needs to be
missed it
addressed.
all.
You say you missed it, Nika?
I missed it.
Oh,
I fell back. I had a rough one, so I fell back to sleep, but I missed it.
You went to sleep fast too, because I was speaking to you and I said her ass done left out of here or something.
I can only stay for I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, it was so much. It was at first trying to be a good conversation, and then it was a lot of, like you said, deflecting. And I felt this. Listen, I could have just been. I might have been shouting in our meeting. I don't even know. I just felt like they're up telling Malika, like, no, Malika, they're up holding the white woman. Like,
yes.
these bitches. Like, she stabbed him to death, Malika. And here it is, like, oh.
And even the ones who were getting on there talking about other races of women, when we were trying to have a conversation about black women and black men, you heard I think that was Rainwater come on there and say all this stuff. Like it was almost like he was glorifying that he had slept with a white woman,
He
slept with several foreigners, and it's like, that's a flex to you.
Yes, it is to him, because
That's crazy.
I honestly feel like the black man is scared to be held accountable because the live that we also witnessed the day before today, the guy was indicating that the only way that the black man knows how to communicate is through respect. And so that alone, for the reason of them feeling as though that the only way that they know how to communicate is through respect, that is your issue. Your issue is that you do not know how to communicate, nor do you want to know how to communicate.
Exactly.
And with communication, accountability has to be at the front of the doorstep with everything that you do. And so today, yesterday you were able to hear every woman be able to say, yes, we still love our black men, we still support our black man. But on today, what you heard was essentially the black woman is the problem of the black man. How is that the issue? The thing about it is that it is easier for a black man to date outside of his race purposely because the other woman that is on the outside of the race that doesn't understand will never be able to judge him
in the way that he feels that he does not want to be judged by the black woman. But the black woman has to be able to sit there and support him through the jail term. We
Exactly.
have to deal with it, with you not being able to grieve properly. We're there to make sure that you're there with a grieving process. If somebody dies, we're there by your side. When you ain't got nothing to eat and you need new shoes and you need new clothes, we are there as well. It's so many things that I've seen black women around me do that I know for sure outside of the race that what we represent, absolutely not. They will not do the same things that a black woman will be able to do for you. And that's why some of them are always in a constant roller coaster of I'm dealing with a white woman this season, I'm dealing with a black woman this season. I'm dealing with a white woman this season, I'm dealing with a black woman this season. And if you are dealing with a white woman, you're dealing with her and you're also cheating on her with another black woman in
Say
most
that.
cases.
Say that. That's the truth.
But see, everybody is so caught up in the idea of, I want to be the biggest player out here, instead of understanding that in order for me to be my best self, the self reflection is you healing within self. Has nothing to do with who can be the best player out here, because at the end of the day, all of y'all are counseling each other and are really finding out that none of y'all know what the fuck to do.
Hey, that's a
Hardly.
true statement. I want to support you in what you're saying right now, because the reason I have these topics is to help my brothers and my sisters get clear understanding from both sides. People tell me all the time, and that I'm different. I'm different from a lot of other brothers. I'm very, very different. So I take the time to learn my woman and learn her needs. I appreciate everything she do for me. You know what I'm saying? So I just be wanting to be clear, and I try to keep this on my channel to say not all, because it is some fantastic brothers that's out here that's down to support our sisters. Yes, it is. But there are a lot more brothers that's lost and don't even have the mind capacity to take in anything new than what they've already been conditioned to do.
Go ahead, Malika.
First and foremost, greetings, True Tarot 555, Mr. Shanji, Speaker Boxer, and Nika. I didn't say greetings earlier. I was trying to get myself.
Oh, it's you again, Mr. Speaker Box Sean G, sir, huh?
Greetings, Malika.
Greetings. So I know y'all heard my good friend Quatita say that she was yelling at me earlier in the meeting because I missed the live earlier. I caught up. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't get to watch all of it before we started this live. And the point that for me, I don't like all-inclusive words because of exactly what Mr. Shanji Speaker Boxer had just said, right? I feel like with the power that we know we have, the power that we speak of that we have, we give so much credit through the tongue to what is not, and being a live representation of what is, it feels disrespectful to me. It feels dishonoring to me. It feels like the natural work that I'm doing to show that this exists and that my husband's doing to show that it exists is being null and void for the black man doesn't, the black woman doesn't. Hold on, be specific. Because when you keep speaking that, you're speaking that over my relationship too. And over individuals that may not be all the way into a Roa Malika space, but are getting there. And now they're looking at it. It's like that friend that you're around that's having a relationship issues, and you never had an issue with your spouse before today until you started talking to your friend about her issues with her man. And now you looking at your man sideways because the energy has shifted and you haven't done the cleansing and clearing that is necessary. It's that energy that it made me say, I don't knock them. I appreciate them. Tell me who you are. I want to know if you are the man that I would lay next to if I was single, if you are the man that I would lay next to who feels as though he's sleeping with the enemy. Do me the favor of showing me you early. And as far as my effort is concerned, I don't have energy to put into you at this moment because there's so many other individuals in this factor that are outliers that are receiving, adapting, shaping from these conversations that are filled with toxicity and degrade and do the all-inclusive thing, that I'm trying to help them and say, no, come here. Let's talk about the truth real quick. Disregard what you just heard in that space. Hear it. because you need to know that it exists, but this is how we're going to work around that, and this is what the resolve looks like. So that's where that I was trying to get my thoughts together in the meeting earlier, and Quatita will always point out to me the racial bias, within that, and make sure that I'm aware of what is happening societally that may affect me in regards to that. For me, it's like, fuck them. Once I know somebody is something, keep showing up how you are. Like, I'm gonna take it for what it is, and I'm not going to continue to give you my energy. I'm not. Might be the wrong way, might be the right way, but it works for me. Because I don't want to be baited. And I feel like a lot of times we step out of our greater self to give energy to spaces that do not deserve us or our energy. And we will set ourselves up for the sake of getting it off my chest. Everybody doesn't deserve that side of me. My energy is exclusive. The energy of my friends is exclusive. And because of that, I hold them to the same regard that I hold myself. So if ever I see my friends stray away from themselves, I pull them back and say, right here, this is peace. This is where we live. This is what that feels like. This is where we reside. And like Quatita and I were saying earlier, I will repeat the words of my husband, which is, how dare you give attention to that when all of this grandness is right here. That's my
I
thought.
love that. I love that so much. A lot of women, can I say that? I'm going to say a lot of women.
Yes.
I'm going to say a lot of men. Uh, they tear their own home down, trying to compare their home to another home. So that's definitely facts. People come for me and my home all the time about how I live, and it works for me. I'm in peace every day. So I don't be caring what nobody else have to say, how they doing it, what they do. That has nothing to do with me. I don't allow that in my home. I don't allow my woman to talk to somebody. I don't want to hear you talking to your homegirl all day about what she going through with her man. Because definitely you are correct. She gonna look at me and she gonna start tripping out of nowhere. I'm like, dang, what I do? That was Jared. That wasn't me. That's them.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So this is a very touchy subject for me because sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with our people, right? And I'm saying Black women and Black men because I feel Black men use an excuse to date outside of their race, not accepting responsibility for the damage that they've done to Black women, right? So Black women in turn disrespect the Black man, right? But then also when you look at social media and you see events or things happen, right? You'll see a Black woman getting beat or something, or getting hit or something happening to them, right? And you'll see Black men standing around, they're recording it, they're not helping, they're not stepping in, they're not trying to break it up, they're not trying to do anything, right? But then in turn, it's like, oh, the Black woman should respect the Black man because that's the king, that's, all these things, right? But then that's not what you're showing us. And that's not what the world shows us, right? Especially Black women. I feel like Black women are at the bottom, all the way at the bottom, below everything. Even trailer trash comes before Black women, in my opinion,
I
because
touched.
that's
I
how.
Can we say in the opinion of others? Can we not state that as a
Well,
fact?
no.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. In the
In
opinion
the
of
opinion of
others,
others, I
right?
say,
And in the
I say.
opinion of others, Black women come below everybody, right? And then there's the Black man, and then there's everybody else that climbs up, right? But until we learn as a people to start over, because we're going to have to reset at some point, right? And start to love on each other more, right? Because we don't see that. We don't see us standing up for each other. I will see a Black male break his neck to go help a genome before they'll ever lift a finger to come help a Black woman, ever. And I'm not saying anything to bash Black men, because I salute you guys that are on here. I'm not saying anything to dog you guys out. I'm married to a Black man, but I'm saying what I've experienced, what I've have been seeing lately, recently, right? And I think a lot of things changed after crack hit the stage. And I just recently had this conversation because I feel before crack hit our communities, right? My friends had parents. I know there was some single parents out there, but my friends had parents. But after drugs were planted and hit the scene, that pretty much destroyed us. And I'm gonna say this one little point real quick because I know other people need to talk. But I actually just drove through Gary, Indiana yesterday. Right. It made me so sad driving through that place. It's predominantly black and it looks like zombie nation. It looks like no, it literally looks like no one should be living there. We drove downtown, we drove through communities, we drove through where Michael Jackson's home was, and it was depressing. I'm very, very particular about protecting my energy. And that place made me so sad. We were just ready to leave. And it's unfortunate because why can you always tell where black people live?
Mm.
Why? Why is that? Why do we accept nothing? Why do we do nothing? Why do we feel like we can't be better than getting high all the time? We can't be better than selling dope. We can't be better than and not saying that all of us do that. Because I know we don't. I know we're educated. I know that we have a lot going for ourselves. But why do we accept nothing and make it okay? Why everything negative do we gravitate to? We as black people are representing ourselves as cursed. Why is that?
Because we can't get escape that slave mentality where we were given nothing and we made everything work. We got to
Mm.
get over that. Understand that we're at a time and enough people died and fought for us to have what we have now, and we really don't take advantage of everything that's in front of us. We accept, like you said, we accept everything and we fight for nothing.
But we're in the age of information. So if you're choosing to stay stuck, that's a choice. It is too much information for those who want to heal, for for the people who want to do better, who actually want to be a better person. It's too much information out here. So you can use an excuse. People use excuses of, oh, well, I didn't have the best childhood. Okay, but you're 50 now. You understand what I'm saying? How long? See, this is why I don't like. If you let people stand on an excuse, they will continue. It will always be another excuse. You know what I'm saying? I showed up here today because I wanted to, because I respect your platform. I respect you as a person.
Gratitude.
Thank you, Sean G, for also lining this up for me. But uh, your mama didn't teach you how to do a lot of things, but you still learned how to do them. So at the end, like your mama didn't teach you how to have sex, but you learned it. Your mama didn't teach you how to skip school, but you learned it. Your mama didn't teach you, but you learned it. So at this point, it's not even conditioning anymore. It's just a lack of accountability. People wanting to do the work, period. And everything, truth be told, in the box, everything that she just said just a second ago, I brought that up today on the channel, which was on Sean's podcast, because that's the truth. A lot of things that you said is literally the truth. All black women want from black men is to feel appreciated, to feel protected. Like I said, safety. We want to feel safe in y'all presence. A lot of times you'll be somewhere and you'll see a black woman get punched in her face by a black man. And if there's not a white man around, the black men will sit and record it.
Yes.
Versus when a police officer is shooting our brothers down, we are literally jumping in front of the man holding the gun and the person that he's trying to get. Like, no, sir, this is my brother. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or we're trying to de-escalate the situation. We don't have that as women. And then a lot of times, just to be honest, a lot of times when we deal with different men, it's the black women who come through for us when we are short on something, or, like you can call your best friend or your sister or you know, somebody, your real close friend, your female friend, and she gonna come through for you 9 times out of 10 faster than that man will. You understand what I'm saying? So if
Mhm.
we don't have each other back, then we lost out here, y'all. And I also touched on this. I don't know, when did black women and black men start going against each other in the manner that I've seen 2022 and 2023. It is mind blowing.
True, Terry, I wanted to chime in with you as well because I feel as though that number one, back to when Shanji was talking about the pretty much the slave mentality. Everybody has been taught that you are not nothing more than what we tell you you are. The white oppressors has been telling everybody that for years. And that's what everybody has felt comfortable in sitting in. And now it's, oh, woe is me. What are we going to do? And we're the victims of this situation. Like everybody is victimizing themselves instead of indicating that you're a survivor.
And
You're a survivor out of your particular situation
yes,
because you have the ability to get the knowledge, to get the understanding, and
correct.
to get the fuck up and do something about the situation. Sitting in talking about Black Lives Matter, talking about I'm going to donate to the NAACP, talking about all of these other outlets is not going to be able to help you. What's going to be able to help you is getting able to understand that my sister, my brother, we all think alike. And in order for us to be able to move something, we all have to make sure that we can create a solution. Whatever that solution is, all of us think on it alike and we implement it.
Exactly.
Go, you got your finger? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna wait for you to finish. I just I'm
No, no,
gonna go
no.
next.
That was basically it because I think that everybody is caught in the rapture of we're still in this slave mentality. Because you're still in that slave mentality, you have no other way but to fight just like the slaves. They were afraid to go out and do things on their own because they thought that if they got caught, it was going to be hell to pay. So now that you have the outlets, how is it that everybody else is able to get so many things done and accomplished? You mean to tell me that a lawyer that was at a firm was able to get fired within 48 hours because of technology? Just as y'all went and researched, advocated, and did everything that you had to do to get that man about that law firm, you can do the same thing in regards to building and rebuilding your community.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
If it can happen over here, it can damn sure happen on the outside for people that don't believe and understand the Melanite culture. We
Agreed.
have a problem with each other because we feel as though that it is easiest to put our negative energy on the same kind. But we will never step to a genome. Some will never step to a genome or any other outside race in the same way that we treat each other.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
fact. You
Mm-hmm.
can watch the Karen videos where they record the Karens,
Yeah,
but they don't touch them.
my
Had that
favorite.
been a sister, it would have been all that brawl in this store
Mm-hmm.
or wherever else it may be. Another thing I want to touch on is the victim mindset. Okay, yeah, we have been oppressed for a lot of years. We know that, right? But you, at some point in life, you're gonna either take the shackles off your feet and dance, or you're going to keep on sitting there playing victim. Some of this stuff is things that we can change collectively in our own communities without needing the government to tell us so. Because if we see a problem, right? If enough of us speak up about the problem, eventually we'll find a solution, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully.
yeah. But I'm almost tired of the victim mindset because victims get wrapped in yellow tape. We all are still able bodied and breathing. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a lot of us have went through a lot of things where we were the victim in certain situations, but you were also a participant. So that makes you, the first time you were a victim, the second time maybe, the third, fourth, fifth time you were a willing participant in whatever was going on because you didn't have to stay. You could have left. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just be more accountable is all I'm saying. Black women and black men, women and men in general, but I'm here for our kind.
Right. So I'm gonna address a couple things real quick because, like I said yesterday, I feel like the melanite black people have adopted the genome white people, the way they treat black people, like black men have adopted that into how they treat black women. And so this is how I sometimes see it. I sometimes see it as women, and this is just my thoughts. Women and little girls, they begin to do, and they transform, and they go into whatever the black little boy or the black man says that he needs, he wants. So they say, we want a bad bitch. So then now they're running trying to figure out how to become a bad bitch. We like, video vixens, and so they run trying to do that, and they're getting implants and all of these different things, only to find out like, no, we want the good girl. We don't want, we want you to look like this. We want you to do this. And then she's like, well, I didn't put this on already. But now it's like, well, I don't want you to wear that because now you're a hoe. Like, well, what happened? I thought I was all of this when you first came into my space,
Oh,
existence, you
yes,
know?
ma'am.
So it's like, well, what are we talking about here? So then it's a double-edged sword, because then you also have the black man who has been hurt and is downgraded, and so now he feels like everyone should treat him like the god he believes that he to be, and by all rights, yes, you understand. So by all rights, yes, but when they're looking at different races of women, those women, they recognize the golden power that we come with. And so we also recognize it, but we've been beat down and trained in a certain way to where there's nothing but self-hate going on a lot of the times in the black melanite community. Okay. And so we don't even know which way to go, because sometimes by the end of the day, we so tired, we're out of fight, you know? And so now you have the genome. I'm gonna just use genomes because we know it's Asians and Hispanics and all of that. But we have them genomes, white women who come from something different, whether they're trailer trash or not, they still have a superiority, whether it's false or believable. They know they carry it. And so a lot of times, I ain't gonna say all black men, a lot of black men recognize
Thank
that.
you. Thank
And,
you.
and so you're gonna see them say, oh, you just ordinary, Keisha. It's a lot of y'all.
Exactly.
You just ordinary. I'm gonna go over here and get the real prize, the queen, the princess, when really you were standing with the guy over here. You went and got something imitated over there. And because you just felt like this person couldn't give you what you needed because you never took time to give her what she needed. So now we're chasing the tail. We're going round and round. Well, what about me? Well, what about me? Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you.
Right.
So now we're in this endless thing of y'all ain't shit. Y'all don't appreciate us. When you first come in, like I heard, I quoted you earlier, True Tarot. I was telling them, I said, she made a statement that I say all the time. You will go to the hood, you'll watch niggas knock bitches down. They will run through bitches like
They
it's
will.
50 going north, and then go and get a white woman and uphold her. I've seen them in Walmart with the little white kids picking them up.
And
And every
parade.
child you didn't have, you said ain't your child when it comes to a black woman. You understand me? So now she's bitter. She's upset because why are you treating me differently? Well, because you just ordinary. You like my mom, or you like my sister, that I don't necessarily understand why she treated me this way without giving the understanding that they're broken. You know what I'm saying? So we're always trying to fight the better fight. So as they're running through the projects, knocking bitches down left and right, it's not that she's just a hoe. You fought tooth and nail for her to believe every lie you fucking told her.
Thank
So
you.
she would give in to what you wanted, only for you to be like, like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here for real, for real. And she gonna help me get my car and my credit up because she understands me.
Right. I want to touch on that if you don't mind. I just left Colombia. I went to Colombia by myself for 5 days. And I had the pleasure of sitting next to, I'm not gonna say their names, but a PP bro. Okay, y'all know who that is, right?
Mm-mm.
I'm lost.
Passport bro.
Oh, the passport. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
I'm still
what's
lost.
amazing to me is how he bragged on this woman.
Mm.
He showed me pictures of this woman. He travels every other week to see this woman. You know why? Because when I went to Colombia, because I had American money, they treated me like a queen. Even most of the guys over there, they're attracted to black women. They treat us like luxury over there. But those women have little of nothing, little to nothing. So when an American man comes over there, of course, they're gold digging. They don't truly love y'all. That's what that's what they don't realize. Y'all are buying her. But let Keisha from the hood ask you for, oh, you've been over here for a couple of days. Can you help me on my light bill? You're gonna swear she gold digging.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all are flying. Most of these guys are flying way across the country, 8 hours for bare minimal, because this woman is gonna, yes, daddy, yes, sir, yes, yeah. But you're paying her for that. When you got Keisha trying to love you for free,
Yeah.
Keisha is the real queen.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tap in?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just want to make a comment because since we are on the top of basically international, right?
Mhm.
So, for us, for most Black people, you say Africa, you feel like that's motherland, that's home, that's our space, right? That's where we're gonna be free. That's where we're gonna be able to just be Black, right? And I actually took a trip to Africa, and specifically South Africa and Botswana, right? And I was just amazed on how Black women and Black people in general were treated versus the genomes, right? And it was very, very obvious that they catered to genomes in Africa. And I was just completely blown away and very disappointed on top of that. And we went out, and I ended up having a genome with me, right?
Mhm.
We went to a club just to see how things were. Before this girl could walk from our seat to the bar, she already had 5 drinks paid for.
Hmm.
And one of the Black men came up to her at our table. So it was 2 Black girls, this genome, and two Black boys. So the man says to her, to the genome, "You're the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life."
Wow.
And I stopped him and I said, "That's very interesting." I said, "So looking at her, this is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. What about your mother? What
Hmm.
about your
Mm-hmm.
sister? What
Mm.
about your aunties? I mean, you never seen anything beautiful looking at them, but you looking at this genome and this is the best thing you ever seen in your life." I said, it's very sad for you. I said, and I told him, I said, I feel sad for you. If this is the best thing you ever seen in your life, you obviously have some problems. But it's very, and unfortunately, I had to experience this, right? And this is throughout going to the grocery store. They'll sit down for Black women or Black people coming through the checkout, and they'll stand for the genomes. And even in restaurants, we had a 6 party table to eat. The genome wasn't ready to order. She stepped outside to take a phone call. Do you know that man did not put our order in until the genome came back?
Ooh.
It told us he was waiting for her to be ready to order before he placed our stuff. But see, and then and again, this is all coming from Black males, right? And Black males wonder why a lot of Black women feel the way they feel, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of Black men feel like they're going into luxury. not knowing that they're going into people that are trying to win a prize. To say that I've slept with a black man, to say I have a black baby,
Yes,
to
girl.
keep my bloodline alive. It,
Hmm.
it, it, it's a motive. It's not I'm here because I love you. I'm here because I'm down with you. I'm here with you. I'm here because I can relate to you. It's so I can show my family as if, like they did back in the days. This is a trophy. I got one. I was able to sleep with one. I was able to procreate with one. And everything is nice and peachy and fuzzy until something happens, until you're pulled over
Right.
and you're targeted. And then this genome on the side of you is going, I don't understand. I don't understand why you just didn't do what they said. I don't understand why you just didn't. You should have just turned the car off. You should have just shut up and let them talk. And see, then that's when the problem comes in.
Hmm.
But, a lot of times, unfortunately, we can't go to our black people, not in schools, not in jobs. I've been on several interviews with black women and not got the job. But those same black women will go hire a genome.
Yeah.
I've been in multiple situations where black people had a chance to step up. I graduated from a HBCU. You know who helped me graduate from a HBCU? Two freaking genomes
Wow.
at a HBCU. How is that even possible? And the
I
people that
trained them
had
and they
it,
took the position from me. And that I brought them in for me to train them. And she got the position.
right. I had a black woman train me and tell me to my face, I'm not going to train you properly because you're intelligent and you may take my job. I was like, what? I don't even want your job. I just want to learn this so I can move on. This is not where I plan on being. But it's so many times we tear each other down instead of lifting each other up. We have multiple opportunities to do the right thing. We just choose not to. It's
I
not
just
the
want to
white
pose a
person keeping us
question
down.
though.
It's us.
I want to pose the question because my friend Malika, she's all about the resolve, you know. So she asked me earlier, so how do we fix this? And I said, I believe you have to start by making Black women important. How do you make Black women important? Because we have Black girls, we have Black children, and it may seem like it's not a big deal of what happened today or how they disrespected Black women, but some of them are fathers and they're family men and they're working men. And so they are raising children. Some of them are raising sons. That means that they are spreading that. That means that's what your daughter has to choose from and pick from. So if they believe that the Black woman isn't worthy, then their son is going to believe your daughter is not worthy. So how do we make the Black woman important when people don't want to listen? I know we're not talking about all of Black men, but we are talking about a lot of Black men, and that lot makes a very, very big difference. So if a Black woman is not important, how do you make her important? If we wasn't even able to get to a 2-hour show before another Black woman got up and disrespected herself and said, slut me out.
Right.
I couldn't even breathe properly. I could not.
That's why I said we got way off topic. Cause it's like, what is going on?
So I mean, it's a lot. Because if your Black daughter goes missing, she's not gonna be gratitude. There was 2 cases in Cincinnati, Ohio. My daughter went to school with both of them. A little young lady named Cassandra, she came up missing. Nobody took heed. It was a melanite Black man who killed her. Okay. But the point was nobody took notice until he stabbed his white girlfriend, right? And then he was still let loose. And nobody gave a fuck still until her other classmate, a little white girl named Esme. He didn't just stab her, he slaughtered her, killed her, broke her back, and set her on fire. Now the whole entire Cincinnati is in an uproar. Nobody was in an uproar for Cassandra, who was walking home from school. She was
Hmm.
walking home from school. Never made it. He pulled her into the woods and killed her too. Why are our girls not important? So it's a big deal. It's scary because they're going to look for Jennifer before they look for Keisha. Keisha, of course, we know she matters. We shouldn't have to say she matters. We shouldn't have to say, hey, we off topic. We're just trying to fix what needs to be fixed. We shouldn't have to do that. So now I'm going to ask Sean G, how do we make Black women important?
To be honest with you, I don't know the answer to it. It's hard for me to answer certain things because I'm not one of them brothers. I'm not one of them black men. So all I can do is when I talk to my brothers is tell them how I live and how I move and how I cherish my woman. And people look up to me because I have a name. So since they do that, I take advantage of that. And I show them how I do. And they think that's cool. Like however it has to be done, it just needs to be done. If I gotta use my name to make you treat your woman better, because you think that's cool, or I want to be like Sanji, then I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I don't know how to do it.
Heard you. Malika.
First of all, where'd Nika go?
Well, she said she'd be right back.
Okay. Oh, so many thoughts. I had to not press the microphone a few times and fall back a little bit. I feel like there is a resolve. Truth be told, I asked the question earlier when you were talking about PTSD of slavery and how things have shown up in our community, from welfare to drugs that have been implanted in our community, weapons that were laid on train tracks in boxes for free. Everybody grab one, have fun. Where the boxes come from, who knows? Who threw that lighter bomb into that window at the mob when everybody was just chanting, and now it's turned into a riot. Oh, nobody cares about the person who started it in a full mask suit. Okay, when you were speaking on that and you presented the question in regards to doing better, or why it seems we can't get to that space, I feel like it's because we're busy entertaining the enemy. I feel like it is because we are busy fulfilling.
Some of us are the enemy.
I completely get that. But the thing is, and I'm not talking about the enemy as far as a color. I think it's because we are so focused, again, like I was stating earlier, on the fucked up spaces.
Yeah.
The fucked up individuals. If we spend all our energy, by the time you get through an hour conversation of rolling that back and playing it back and how many different ways you could, who's got energy to heal? By now, reliving the whole situation, but after that and trauma bonding, you're tired. Your energy is depleted. So that's where I feel like when I say busy entertaining the enemy, where I wrote down while you were speaking, truth be told, we're busy fulfilling the scripts they wrote for us because we can't see the power in our own pen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that goes back to what Quatita was talking about on here previously when it came to baiting. We fall for it because, okay, you know what's interesting to me? And I think this is where the resolve comes in as well. There's so many warriors for we as a people have to do better. And you can't even sit with your family at a dinner table. There's so many people running out to riot. And half of them babies that's in the street, their parents don't even know where they at. And don't use work as an excuse. Because there are things where if you have the right relationship with your child, they can turn on their tracker on their phone. My son did that yesterday. He had a situation to handle. He went to go and help prevent someone from unaliving themselves with his girlfriend. And because I know the seriousness of that, I told him, turn on your tracker. And immediately when he left the house and got in the car and turned the video camera on in his car, because we think about solutions rather than always talking about the problem, he turned. I saw it said, Elijah has shared his location. Gratitude. It's as simple as that. And we communicate consistently. We have not done the work. A lot of us have not done the work in our own houses with ourselves to show a reflection of what it is that we're asking for on a grander scale. And how do you even do that? How can I begin to comprehend or attempt to talk about what's happening out there, and I can't even make it through 6 months without discord with my people? How How do I want the melanite male and the melanite female to come together when I can't even, I don't like being in the house with my husband? That's not me. I'm just saying. There's a lot of people that are living that example. But you want to see melanite women and men come together, and we need this. And I don't understand why we keep attacking each other, but you can't co-parent because you decide to choose you and yourself first before your child and the security of their peace. And you want me to march with you? You want me to leave my front door?
Everybody has this thing, Malika, where they need to be like seen. They need to be acknowledged. Like they can't even, like you said, they can't recognize their own trauma and pain
Mm-hmm.
to even understand somebody else's trauma and pain. Because if I don't want you to cut over in front of me, then I probably shouldn't go up the street and cut over in front of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be accountable for how we show up to each other. I want to also say, when we were talking when I was in the car, so Malika made a very valid point, right? Because I was telling her, even what I said yesterday about my mom, like basically she was saying, did your mom know her value, her worth, because she stayed in the relationship until she died, and my mom was 34 when she passed away, although she was in a very abusive relationship with a Black man. She did not die at will. I can't say she didn't die at his hands. There was some poison going on, but whatever. But she stayed inside the toxicity because she didn't know her value, her worth. But I told Malika, I said, as an 8, 9, 10-year-old little girl, I knew my mom's worth. And it would bother me to watch her serve him on his tray in bed. Meanwhile, he didn't probably beat her up. She didn't worked 2 jobs, got up at 4 to fix his breakfast and lunch. But she still was a fat bitch. And he would plant money to say, hey, who you had in his house, just to be able to get his funky off to beat her up whenever he felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I didn't want to be that kind of weak. So although I love my mom and I didn't want to be like my mom, in some situations I became my mom. I found myself in 3 very abusive relationships. 1 almost claimed my life, so it's like, how do we find inside of us, Malika, when, like you said, I knew my mom's value, and then you said, you mean your mom didn't see her value because basically she was still trying to save the devil that was trying to kill her.
Loving the oppressors.
So
like I keep doing.
Aubrey, you're going to appreciate this. I got her, sis. I got her. So after she explains this to me, and is it okay that I share the story of
Yes.
you all?
No, you're fine.
Okay. So Quatita explains this beautiful story of her and your sister, correct? Dressing mommy up, and
Yes.
Mom was prepared, preparing mommy for daddy to come home so we could do this special thing. And when he came through the door, the reaction was that energy of who the fuck you getting dressed up for type of energy, right?
Yep.
And so that's when Quatita started explaining, like, as at my age, being that young, like I was rooting for her and I wanted so much better for her. I saw her worth. So my response in that was, oh, so you mean you were cheering her on, but she couldn't see her value and kept giving into the same energy that wasn't feeding her, that was destructive to her. And she said, I see where you're going with this. And I said, greeting, Quatita's mom. Call me Quatita. Because that same cycle is what we now experience, that we continue to see Quatita in. Let me not say Quatita in this moment. That we continue to see governance in. We are those children saying, but why? Why do you keep stepping outside of yourself for these undeserving fuckers? Like,
so then I say to her, because I want you to hear what I'm saying here. I said to her, because when I was inside of the church, when I did believe in the Jesus person, character, whatever, I also still prayed for the devil. And I still gave love because I thought to myself, well, maybe nobody loves him. Maybe that's why he does what he does. Maybe if somebody loves him, maybe he'll change and he won't do the stuff he do. And so that's still the mentality that I have. Because she said, why are you trying to save everybody? Quatita, why are you trying to do that? She said, no, I'm trying to save the Rose and I'm trying to save the Shanjis. And I said, well, I said, absolutely. And I said, no, I can't even say that because I still love those who hate me. Then maybe my love will find them and make them change at some point. I don't know how to not love them, but they don't give a fuck about a Black woman.
So the introspection then in that for me was the response that I gave, which was, I feel like you have been the underdog so much that you root so hard for the underdog. You sometimes find individuals that it's worth it. But there's a lot of times where, and those individuals look like me, Quatita, Aubrey, to be told, True Tarot, where these and masculines as well. We've seen that time and time again in the blessing of Quatita's experience. You know, you show up for them and you're helping them, and those situations with those individuals don't turn out good. And I said, she actually said, I just don't want anybody to be broken. I just want to fix that. And I said, but you can't want to fix them being broken so bad that in the midst of fixing them, you allow them to break you.
Woo.
Because I was brokenhearted today. I wasn't angry. I mean, I was, but I was brokenhearted. My heart was broken.
Have you ever sat down and really thought about this? Do you know that a lot of people that you love will use your love that you have for them against you?
Yes.
They will weaponize it.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Happens a lot with
Right.
me.
So as a child, I watched my father treat every Black woman he had rough.
Mm-hmm.
When I say rough, I would call the police on him myself.
Mm.
How terrified I used to be. Correct. But when he started, any like time a genome person came around, he would, oh, you're just so beautiful. You this, So of course, as a kid, I'm trying to wrap my head around, why is it that every Black woman you come in contact with, you treat her like trash, but when these other palm color people, you treat them like they're top tier, like they're the prize. I spent 20 years being a mother, and this is the first Mother's Day he told me Happy Mother's Day.
Mm.
You understand? But I extend grace to him because I know he knows no better. The thing is, it's enough information out here, and counseling is always available. And so if you're not healed or you're not working on yourself, then that is a you problem. You like being where you at. You like playing victim. You like using excuses, and you're gonna live on that mountain until the day you die, and until you decide to do your work. Then another thing that I grew up, as I had my first child, so I'm all excited, and I come from the hospital, and they release the baby and the mom, you go home. My father called me and said, "Hey, me and the palm colored woman is on our way over there. Get up and clean up." I said, "No, she should be coming to clean up for me."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, I've been this way since a child. I've been calling BS. I've been seeing it, and if I see it, I'm gonna say something. I'm not gonna let people treat people or outcast people in front of me. I'm just not one of those type of people. But definitely, Black men really, really, they can't. I don't really feel like they can say that they don't have a safe place with us, because when y'all are hurting, y'all run to us. When y'all are in jail, we're taking care of that. We're putting money on the phone, money in your books, the whole nine, taking care of the kids, everything. Even lying, telling your kid you went off to college type. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, the things that I heard them say today is that they don't, because when they deal with other races, they can come home to peace. The peace you disturbed is what, like, let's talk about the peace that you disturbed in the Black household. When you go over there with Susan, yeah, you're gonna act different because Susan is happy to have a Black man in general.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? You can give her the bare minimum. She's going to kiss the floor.
Yes.
Black
I
women,
think
Black
baby
women.
had a question up there at the top. She had a finger
Go
up.
ahead.
So true tarot. I was going to say there were two parts to what I wanted to say to you from the
Okay.
first portion of what you were saying, and then this to this last part that you just said. I think there is also a disregard in regards to the fact that the white woman has had the white experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she shows up a certain way to you, it's because she hasn't had to fight with the reflection of you her entire life. See, for me, no matter how good my melanite man is, he is a reflection, although not a direct reflection in image and physicality. He's a direct reflection of my artist. You can read between the lines on that. I don't want to get no strikes or nothing. The direct reflection of many abusers, the direct, or not direct, but indirect reflection of individuals that held me up against the wall, that were willing to choke me while I was pregnant with my beautiful melanite son.
Ooh.
And so, in that, when she comes to lay with you, she doesn't even know what that walk is.
Mm-mm.
So, give me grace, because as much as I show up and support you in your pain and your trauma and your healing, I need the same thing reciprocated to feel safe. So, that was one part of that, right? The other part is what you were speaking about initially with your dad and the palm colored lady. I remember working at Macy's, and I was actually pregnant with my son at the time. And this black man came to the houseware section, and it was my first day. I'd never worked on a register before, and I was so anxious. And I'm working. I'm trying to get him his change, and I couldn't get the register to work. And he had said to his daughter, who's my complexion, young little girl, he said to her, "This is why your daddy doesn't date black women."
Wow.
Right.
Let me
And
go
so,
cut my camera
so,
off.
so in that moment, I had a decision to make. Show up for him. Your life and your existence is already miserable, sir. So I leaned over the counter to his beautiful daughter who looked like me. And I said to her, "I want you to remember everything that your daddy says defines him and not you. Anytime you ever feel like you are not worthy, you remember me and you know that we are powerful." And she smiled. This little girl smirked. So I already knew this was a piece of her that she was missing, that she never got confirmation on. So, true tarot, for the inner child in you, I want you to know that you are seen and you are powerful. And it does not matter who your daddy chose to bring home or how he attempted to make it seem as though the experience was her of her was something that you should give gratitude for. At the end of the day, true tarot, melanite woman, you are God.
I-
Feminine, you are
And
all.
and I thank you so much. And I'm strong and I'm healed and I'm
Ashe.
walking it every day.
Ashe.
And
Mm-hmm.
he didn't define me. I
Absolutely.
what he did do is open my eyes. What he did do is I kind of watched what he did and did the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a part of us that we end up dating our fathers that we don't
Mm-hmm.
really talk about either.
Mm-hmm.
So if our father was abusive 9 times out of 10, your first boyfriend or your the one you chose, the one that you have kids by, he was abusive. Because these are the
Can
things
I
that
chime in next?
hold on, these are the things
Yes.
that we have to unlearn and relearn because it's a generational cycle.
Go ahead, Shauna G.
Okay, let me say this. I understand everything y'all saying. Okay,
Hmm.
but the conversations that I have on my channel, again, I say it so we can get understanding. What I need y'all to understand also from the black man's point of view. I've been a black man for 38 years, right?
Hmm.
All of my life, I've been a black man. And I can only speak from experience, but it is difficult with some black women, okay? I was explaining to someone earlier, I don't remember who it was, but I was saying we spend a lot of time when we meet a woman breaking down the wall that she's built rather than paying attention to what she needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we need women, black women, to allow that wall to come down some, not make it so hard to break it down and let us in. Because if we spend so much time working to break that wall down, man, by the time it get halfway there, we be over it. Like it'd be so hard. Okay, I knew y'all was coming for me. Y'all got me up here by
No,
No,
we're
myself.
not coming for you.
Nika hasn't
But
spoken. Let Nika speak first. Yeah.
listen,
Okay. Go ahead, Nika.
let me say this real quick.
Okay.
From my experience, because I have a child with a white woman. Okay, and I like what Malika said earlier. She probably haven't experienced it, right? But one thing I noticed, and it's just real to me. Y'all, if y'all gonna be mad at me, look, ladies, I apologize. Is I just have to speak the truth.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Speak your truth.
I've come home to a white woman, and yes, she is there with a cup of lemonade or some Kool-Aid she done tried to make. It may not be sweet enough, but she's
Of
there
course.
with it. See, my mother is 60 years old, right? And she's single. One thing I have accepted is that my mother will die alone, and I'll tell you why. My mother is the type of woman who wants to be the man and the woman in the relationship. She gonna fight her man. She gonna talk shit all day long. She not fixing no plates. She not rubbing no feet. She not rubbing no back. I remember her, man. My mama had a good man. All he did was went to work and came home. But when he came in the door, she tell him to go fix his plate because she already cooked. If she cooked, why I gotta go fix your plate? Y'all gotta understand, we've been men all our life, and this is what we see. This is what we know. So when somebody show us something different and we like it, right? But at the same time, I have a black woman right now. When I went to jail, she stood by me. I've been on in-house incarceration for 3 years. I can't go outside. And when I was in jail, the things that she did while I was in jail, when them feds came and got me, this girl took all of my furniture and everything and went and got a storage and moved it. She took all of my money and my jewelry to my mama's house, right? She did everything she was supposed to do. So while I'm sitting in that jail cell, I told myself, when I get out, I have to allow myself to give her a fair chance. I'm a hoe at heart. I can say that. I'm a hoe. I wasn't. It was a time when I wasn't about shit. But because this black woman showed me something different, I couldn't do nothing different but give her back what she was giving me. I just be wanting to be fair on equal playing field. The same way we need to learn y'all, we need y'all to learn us. Let's listen to us when we cry out.
How many people did you see fix your mother's plate?
See, this is the thing. I knew you was gonna have that kind of a comeback because one thing about a woman is instead of her accepting what was said, she's gonna have a great comeback for it.
Mm-mm. I accept what was said, but I just want to know, did you ever see somebody fix your mother's plate?
Yes,
How was she
this this
responding?
this same man
Mm-hmm.
who I said was a great man to my
Mm-hmm.
mama, because I see my mama have different niggas, but I also see her have two, to be exact, two good men in all of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and she ran them both away. This man
Okay.
would ask my mother to marry her every holiday, Valentine's, her birthday, Christmas. She would say no, but take the ring.
Okay. Just two things, and then we're gonna let Nika chime in. Just two things. One, are you completely aware of who your mother is as a woman and where she came from? And that same plate, I don't mean the actual plate. I mean, how was her plate set from the beginning of her life that brought her to who she was as the mother that you knew? You know, because
One,
you're saying your mom, but who is she as the woman? What did she come through or come from that made her who she was?
my mama is the baby of 9 kids, and she always was the eldest child, if you get my drift.
Mm-hmm.
So my mama's always been tough. She's always been strong. But this goes back to the point where I said, baby, let that wall down. My mama didn't know how to allow a man to love her properly because she was already prepared to get screwed over.
That's right. 'Cause that means she never felt safe enough to do so. So, you know,
Goes back to
There's
safety.
a lot to go into that, and I totally get, and but that's what True Tarot was saying. Like, yes, the white lady may give you Kool-Aid when you come in, and you're right, it's not going to be as sweet as when a black woman make it for you. However, like, it's just a lot that will come with that because, like she said, you're going to give her a different understanding than what you would give. Like, we don't mind letting the walls down if we have a safe space to do so. Now, granted, you said there are some black women, and you're right, some black women, we got Suki Hana, she loved to be a hoe. That's what
Mhm.
she liked to do. We have some black women that love to scam and scheme, and I ain't gonna call nobody names, but baby, we have some black women that love to scam and scheme, and all they know is chaos. But somewhere there was a fracture
Mhm.
that caused it. Now, I'm not going to cut her a break or give her an excuse, you know what I'm saying? But, I still understand. I do want to know, why is she showing up that way? Can I help it? Can I help her? Can I love her through it? But the first time you burn me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably going to say something about it. I'm a softie though. But I just wanted to ask, had anybody ever made her plate? You know?
I've seen him make her play, but let me transition from that to this real quick. Right now, as we speak, I'm in my kitchen cooking greens and steak.
Probably going to be so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be delicious, trust me.
Mhm.
Right? But you know what my wife is doing? Sitting on her feet on the couch with her feet kicked up, smoking, enjoying her TV show.
As the fuck.
There are great men out here that's gonna do that,
But
and I don't
that's
think.
not what I'm okay. Listen, I just want to say, I swear to God, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Listen, this is what I was upset about earlier, because you do have a good woman, but like I said, the first, like, we don't never go to that. It's always the problem of what the black woman is. We never go to that first, even though you see, I got a good woman at home, but yeah, a black man don't want to go to a black woman that's nagging. I understand that. But after you say that, they didn't even hear you say you had a good woman, because you had already triggered the what they was already in. You know what I mean? So they couldn't hear nothing else. And they do hear you because you are a powerhouse. And so because of that, like, let's start with that first. Okay, let me be quiet. Go ahead.
I think I do that. I think I start with that all the time. Like the people who's there on my show, they know me. I speak highly of my woman on the regular. True Tarot was talking. We was talking earlier, and one thing she could say to my wife when she talked to her was, "There's never a conversation where he don't mention you. There's never a conversation where he don't say how good you are." Queen Nika can testify to that. She treats me the same way I treat her. So in my house, we don't have arguments. We don't. We have discussions. If I do something that bothers her, she gonna tell me about it. Hey, babe, I didn't like when you did this. Even if it do make her mad, she's gonna walk away, and she'll be back in about 5 minutes. And she gonna say, "Okay, babe, I'm back with a new attitude." But I do want to tell you that when you said this, it made me feel this type of way. Me as a man can say, "Damn, you know what? I didn't think about it like that. Maybe I could have said that different." It's all about communication and understanding. We can't be so quick to point the finger. First, you need to point the finger at yourself, because I'm sure a lot of people never understand. Like, bro, I do everything right. I do this, I do that, I do this, and I'm quick to tell one of my partners this, bro. It's something that you're doing that's not making her feel that. So I encourage my brothers to point the finger at yourself first. Figure out what you could have done better. Go ahead, Malika, music lady, ma'am.
Gratitude, Mr. Speaker Box, Shanji, sir. Um, so let me say this, right? I want to be very honest with my family right now. If ever I showed up to Rowan the way you all just showed up to Shanji, he would not be with me. If ever, if ever I did not, if ever I did not affirm him vocalizing his experience in a space where he knows he is one against all on this panel and more than likely in the audience. And so seeing the comments roll and the attack, I kind of got to see what it is that Ro talks about when I be like, no, no, no. I kind of got to
Me?
see that. No, 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 no. Okay, so in your communication with Sean G, right? Like when he said, see, I knew that was going to be your response. I have learned with Ro, because I would have dived in the way you did with the question because I'm intrigued. But see, the way that men receive it is the first thing that I've learned to say to Ro is, I completely get that. I hear what it is that you just said, even down to repeating what it is that he just said back to him, because my request was to be affirmed when I speak. So I feel validated that at least you heard me before you go into what it is that you want,
Yeah,
the information
right.
that you want.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
in the comments, when the comments were rolling,
Well,
it
I
was
saw
kind
somebody
of
say boy bye. I mean, that's what it means. I
right.
understand that.
Answer the question. Why we always got to be the problem? Da-da-da. Do you know what I heard when Sean G said what he said? I heard, when I get off of here, because Ro and I have a play date at 11, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the fridge and pour him a drink and bring it in the room without him asking. Nothing else mattered in what he said, because I know that he knows Ro more than I do as far as the walk that they walk,
Thank
that
you,
I've
sweetheart.
never a day in my life walked. So my mom used to say, pick the sense out the nonsense, right? So even if, not to say it's nonsense, Shanji, but if it doesn't speak to you, you don't have to focus on that. You focus on the medicine in it that can heal you. And for me, all I heard was my mom could have showed up better. When I saw a man give a lot of effort, I also saw the fact that he wasn't recognized or affirmed for it. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't validated for it.
Absolutely heard it. Yes.
And then the other part of it, disregard whatever else, sugar, no sugar, taste the sweet, all of that. When I get up off of here at 11 o'clock for my play date, I'm gonna pour my man a drink and bring it in the room to him, because now I know, oh, this is something that they're looking for that makes them feel good. I might even if I can't do the pedicure this weekend, I might even take him to the nail shop and be like, baby, come get your feet rubbed. And sometimes they don't even want that. It's just to feel your touch
Say,
as
baby,
their
let me tell you
divine
something.
feminine.
That man is gonna love you, and you're an awesome woman. You hear me? I'm gonna tell you right now, you are an awesome black woman because you are one of the few women that ever listen to the things that we say. They miss all the good things. They
So
never
look,
listen to that one thing.
Sean, right? The same way I have patience with the divine masculine, I have patience with the divine feminine. There's a reason why they show up that way. But see, there's never the mediation to say, remember, y'all don't speak the same language. You still trying to figure out how to speak to your mama without pissing her off and her pissing you off, and you both are right in the conversation. So how do you expect to find an equal language with someone that you're just meeting, or different walks of life, whether that be masculine, feminine, whatever the case is? So when they're not hearing you, we need you to teach us. But we also need to have the patience to allow you to do so. So when you said, I knew that you were going to come back with that question, that could have also been, Quatita, can you affirm what I just said before we go into what your question is? What do you feel about what I just said? And then I'll
And I
answer that.
definitely would have, because I heard exactly what he said. He said my mom
Absolutely.
could have showed up better. You know what I'm saying? And I heard it, but me understanding, I heard she was broken. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I definitely heard him, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I understood
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
And for us, it's the intrigue, because see, the thing is, again, we forget that we speak different ways. So where I go to Ro and I'm like, okay, well, what about this? And then he'll give me, and he's trying to catch up, and he'll have to tell me, babe, slow down. Like, I just wanted to tell you something real quick. And now you got all the questions. And now we're going into conversations about, am I judging him? Am I telling him he's not showing up properly? How did we get here? And so those are the moments that engagement, even just now, is so dynamic. And those are the moments we don't give enough credit to, when we have those examples set for how we can show up better. And I need my cousins in the chat, pay attention to how Quatita received what he just said. And there was no discourse. There was no resentment held over from previous interactions with melanite men. There was no there was no anger. It doesn't have to be angry. I told Quatita earlier, I've learned everything does not have to be something. When I realize my worth, I realize I don't have to shout to be heard if I'm in the right spaces.
Yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Now, the
Yeah.
question I initially wanted to present to Sean G from the masculine perspective, when you said that some of us need to let our guard down, how do we know when it's safe to let our guard down? Because it's like I'll tell Ro, you have some homeboys and relatives where the way you love me, if I wasn't with you and I was with them, you wouldn't want me to let my guard down with them because you know what they be about. So how do we know when it's safe to do so?
When he answers that, can Nika also speak? She's the only one on the panel that hasn't spoken.
Yes. I, normally I would say you'll never know, right? But there are some key things that you can pay attention to. Pay attention to the things he do that you never asked or said anything about. If he pays attention to you without you having to say, "This is my favorite color. You always pick this color shirt." Pay attention to that. I pay attention to everything my woman do, and I go out of my way to make her happy. She don't have to tell me she need this or she like this style. If I go on my phone right now, I have notes. And you know what the notes are? Her ring size, her bra size, her panty size, her shoe size, what she gets from McDonald's, what she likes from Chick-fil-A. Hey, she really like those Chick-fil-A salads, but she don't like this salad. She like the Cobb salad. Hold the egg. That's the difference between a good man who care about you and a dude that's just there. What y'all say, Ashe?
Yeah, I said Ashe. Gratitude. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is.
I say, oh, is it my turn? Oh goodness. Um, oh, this conversation. But I'm gonna go back because I've been sitting patiently, just waiting. I'm gonna go back to where the conversations are starting, and I'm gonna dive a little deeper into the audience that we're choosing to have these conversations with. What I've sat back and watched is we have a lot of disturbed mentalities that's coming here that's not aware of the healing that's been done and the healing that's being taught, because in order for us to have these conversations and for them to be effective, meaning we've done our work. You get what I'm saying? So we're not trying to tell you what to do, we're trying to tell you how to get through. You get what I'm saying? Because if you look at each and every last one of us, we've all experienced some type of hurt, whether it be childhood, whether it be adulthood, lovehood, like in relationships, we've all experienced it. We've all experienced, you know, a man choosing this particular woman over us. I think we've all experienced it. So my thing is, I be looking around and I be saying, yo, this is going to be a never ending. Like, in order for us to carry on the conversation, is because we want to get somewhere. We want people to understand, and overstand that, listen, we all got our little shit, right? But if we not taking what a man is standing here telling us, it's a man telling us that, hey, listen, and maybe he just don't have the words to say it. I had to figure this out. Instead of talking to him, I was talking at him. So that was showing up all the way wrong. He never heard anything. I don't care how I cried, slung snot, none of that. He never heard nothing I said because it was a talk at him. But that came from me being taught that in order to be heard, you have to be loud and it has to be aggressive. So that automatically runs our men to that corner that he or she, mom or dad, put them in.
Mm.
So it kicks up those, once again, I always have to relate back to them bad signals. You get what I'm saying? We don't take the time to realize the first thing we do wrong, and that's not having the clear communication down, because we want to be heard, we want to be seen, and we want to be felt. But we don't know how to, we haven't been taught or given the tools to lead that with love, because we've been taught that love is going to hurt. So you got to expect that. So what do we do first? We hurt first. Oh, we shoot to kill you. So we never take the time to look at, first of all, where did we find you at? Secondly, where do you come from? And then when we find out what you come from, we don't want to love you through that, because that's too much. We got stuff in our past that we're trying to deal with too, instead of coming together and healing together. You get what I'm saying? We won't bring into our household, hey, not only do we need it as a couple, but our kids may need it as well. We need therapy in here. We need somebody to sit down and bring out these things that our parents couldn't bring out. They gave us what they could. Okay, cool, fine. Now it's time for us to stop this cycle and start a new one. Now we got to write our own script. Well, we never get to that because we're too busy trying to get everybody to understand what we come from, what we face, what we see, and how we still seeing it. Instead of what we can show. See, I came here to show everybody that this is what therapy looks like. Hey, I actually been with a man whose mom is half white, and I've learned throughout the years that um his abuse is towards genomes. And here I am, just this loving creature, like, oh no, we supposed to love everyone. And oh my God, everything is unicorns and rainbows. We can do it. No, listen. And then that made me have to open up and talk about the hurt that I experienced. So we were just two people hurting, and not even knowing that we trauma loving. We ain't even really loving, we trauma loving. So I say, all the negative comments, man, and all the people that's not hearing these grown up conversations happening. Hey, what they say, chew the meat and spit the bones out. It's like I couldn't have 500, 600 people in my chat, because I'll be too busy. Block, 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 block. 'Cause I don't even have time to entertain your mentality, because see, you probably one of these COVID babies that came here because you had nothing else around you to look at, to love, to even try to tap into, to even come here to get what you see. You keep traveling in these places where healing is really happening at, and you can't even heal because, hi, honey, I'm on mute. You know what? I was just like, you know what? Maybe I need to just be quiet, because my disposition is different. I didn't come here for the rah rah, but as you know, you'll get thrown into the rah rah because they don't like it's until they see the rah rah, they don't believe that you're really peaceful, you're really this, or you've really done some work. They look at you like a kid. Everybody's a kid. Everybody playing on a kid's playing field. So, like, yeah, I don't got time for it.
Let me say this. I've put it in the chat a few times. I ask that everybody is respectful to everybody on the panel, because we have difference of opinions doesn't mean we have to be disrespectful. It doesn't mean that you have to come out of your neck disrespectful. You can say how you feel without being disrespectful, because it's a difference. Okay, so everybody on the panel should be respected, and that's all I'm asking. Now, if we can't hear it, that means exactly what Shanji is saying is probably the person, the kind of black woman they don't want to come home to.
Mm.
If
Can I
you,
say
Facts.
yes,
Can I just, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just really need to address something that I saw.
go ahead.
Right. So I am the type of person, I don't give a fuck what somebody else showed up like in the presence of somebody else, unless it was detrimental to the life of another individual in that moment. When you sit at my table and you know to give respect because it's being reciprocated, and you don't step outside of that, I'm good. If ever you shift, I will correct it. So me basing my interaction with it. That's what's wrong with humans, especially humans that are on everyday human shit. You're always worried about what a person did, where a person was. Do you know that there's something called growth? Do you know that there's something called evolution? And as long as you show up to me correctly, I will entertain the conversation. That does not mean that I need to own a friendship with you, a connection with you, that when I leave off of this stage, outside of Quatita and Aubrey, because I can't breathe without them, that you will ever hear from, see me, or if you shop at Grand Rising, you know, to my clients, I'm always there for you. Ashe. Um, I'm not swayed by that. And I hope that people realize that, because sometimes we can be very loud and wrong. And as we're saying that, we're not paying attention to what about the fucked up parts of you
Yeah,
that you were never even bold enough to
that's
show in
all I'm
public.
saying.
Yeah,
That's
people
all.
need to understand. I come from pimping. It was a whole lot of pimping going on over here. You feel what I'm saying?
Me
I come
too.
from a whole lot of pimping, 24 hours a day. So I don't know who they was talking about, but just
Yeah.
in case you was talking about me,
My
Yeah.
father was a real pimp, so I understand exactly what you're
I
saying.
came
Like,
from a whole lot of pimping. So definitely, when I speak right now, I definitely show growth because at the end of the day, I didn't care what color you was. Go get that money and bring it home.
Well, I come from a family of five brothers, right? So um I don't recall any of them dating up outside of their race, but not to say that they haven't, right? But I do know, speaking to them, speaking to my husband, speaking to, I have a lot of male friends as well, that that is a problem for them with melanated women, of how we approach, how we speak, how we feel like we have to be loud, how we feel like we have to be disrespectful to be heard. And I know that that stems from a lot, um, from our past, our mothers, because most of the time, a lot of weight is put on moms, right? Whether you had a good mom, you felt like you had a bad mom, or in between mom, right? For me, I was always a daddy's girl. I was a 120% a daddy's girl. So fortunately for me, I had a strong male to show me what it was like to be with someone that respected their home, that took care of their kids, and so on and so forth. But that's not to say that I didn't have dysfunctional relationships, right? But it's all in how we learn to communicate with each other. I feel like us as melanated people, we always feel like we have to come aggressively at each other to conversate. If you don't like what somebody is saying on the panel or in the comments, there's still a way to approach that. You can approach it in a way where you're being heard but not being disrespectful. And for us as a unit, we need to grow. We need to grow on how we show up on a daily basis, how we present ourselves, how we speak to each other, how we, you know, are in relationships. A lot of melanated people are not in successful relationships because of the people they're choosing to be in relationships with. And I mean, because for example, how can you date somebody's husband and then feel like you're going to be in a successful relationship? How can you, you know, even on the male side, how can you be cheating and think somebody's going to respect you? There's a lot of things that we can change, and there's a lot of things that we don't have to accept. You don't have to accept somebody disrespecting you. You could walk away. You don't have to live in poverty. You can move. There's a lot of things that we can do to change ourselves. We just choose not to. Again, definitely bad signals. They're hitting all the time. We just choose not to listen to them. And a lot of us get upset when our melanated men say they dated outside of their race. But again, what are we bringing to the table? I'm not saying that we as women always have to bring everything to the table, because I think it should be equal. I think that for me, the way I cater to my husband, I feel like he caters to me more. But we have always been very intentional about our plans. We've always been intentional about the way we communicate. We've always been intentional about outside noise. We've been very intentional about everything that we do. And that's how I live my life in general. You have to be very intentional about everything. I can honestly say I started from the bottom, but I chose to live a different lifestyle. That was a choice I chose to make. I don't think I'm better than anybody else because I feel like everybody has equal opportunity. If you choose to stay in a rut, that's because that's what you're choosing. Because we can't always blame it on the genome. We got to look at self.
I want to explain this. Go ahead, Aubrey, and then I want to go into this. I want because some people are new to me and they have no idea what a bad signal is or what we mean when we say that. And so, go ahead, Aubrey.
No, explain that first because I got to go all the way back to when we were talking about what is the solution. So explain
Okay.
that first.
So I wrote down what's wrong with me. A lot of melanite women, black women, that's what we walk around with. That question is burned on our forehead. But what's wrong with me? But why not? What's wrong with me? So that is a question. Oh, she come back up. I'll put it. That we walk around with. A bad signal is a term that I've coined and I teach on in a lot of my self-help classes. Bad signals is just that. What's wrong with me is a bad signal that shines up in the sky that other broken people will see.
Mm-hmm.
They will recognize and they know how to misuse, abuse, and step into your experience
Part.
and show up and write you into their script in some kind of way. Right. And so if you have not looked at your script of your life to understand how you are showing up, how did life show up to you, what bad signals do you have, then you don't know that you've left people with bad signals. You don't know that you have bad signals. And not only you've left your children with bad signals, and so not only fucked up people see your bad signals, healed people see your bad signals. So when you're coming into their space of existence and they're like, Keisha, don't bring her over here. And first thing she do, come in loud, yeah, bitch, I heard you. Don't. That's a whole bad signal.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to deal nor be bothered with that. So that kind of bad signal shows up in the black home and in relationships. That is the bad signal that a lot of melanite men see that they feel like they don't want to deal with. Because you're not going to see a black man come in like, yeah, bitch, yeah. They're not coming like that. Their bad signals show up in a different way, but they have them. So when we're looking at bat signals, you got to go into that question. What bat signals are you walking around with? How are they shining? How are they shining? How are you showing up? And you have to look at that and fucking realize that is a real thing. So yes, I want our black women, our melanite women to be loved and respected, but we also must tell the truth about the bat signals that you come with, because we do come with them. Now we can, like I said, I heard him say and affirm his truth, but I also heard his mom has bad signals, and because I'm a healer, I tend to go to that first, you feel me? But I absolutely fucking heard it, he was very honest about it. Do you know what your bad signals are, Shanji?
No, I don't.
A lot of men don't. You know what I mean? But it ain't even just like other men see men's bad signals as well. You may have a guy who ain't never so dope. He just want to play basketball. He's a good guy. And then you going to have motherfucking Tyrone up the block who come from a fucked up home, who ain't never had no good shoes. And he's looking at Kiwan, motherfucking well-dressed ass. And Kiwan just seeing like, hey, what's up? He want to be his friend. Tyrone is like, nigga, fuck you. That's his bad signal. That's how he's showing up. Self-hate because there's something about Kiwan that he's fucked up about. He don't know how to get past it. So a genome woman has given black women a lot of bad signals, but they didn't just give them to a black men, gave them to us as well, because we're always compared. That's our bad signal. Like, well, what's wrong with me? Why are you choosing her? What's wrong with me? A lot of us are carrying that bad signal and we don't even know that we showing up that way. We have to learn how to speak. We have to learn how to talk. We have to learn how to respond. We have to come in with true intention of wanting to heal and heal each other, because our bad signals are always showing. People see them, no matter if they healed or not healed. You feel me? Go ahead, Aubrey.
Oh,
I just wanted to say, I wanted to go all the way back to where you said that what is going to be the solution. I think that the problem with the Melanite community is that we need to learn how to love again. Because everybody that is up here has indicated that they had a trauma which caused them to have a messed up experience within their relationship. In order for you to be able to understand the true definition of love, love is communication. Love is respect. Love is all the nice things that you can be able to get out of the relationship, because ultimately you're doing love the way that love is supposed to be given. But the thing about it is that we were brainwashed into believing that love is all of these things on top of the additional things with it. So the jealousy, the pride, all of the cheating, everything that's a negative impact of love, we've now mixed it in together. And it is not that. I honestly think that the positive side of love is understanding the truth, being upfront, being able to thoroughly communicate about your problems in your situations so that your particular partners can understand what the problem is. You being upset and going out and having an affair is not solving the issue, it's only making it worse. But how dare someone come to you and say, why did you cheat on me because I love you this much? You react in the way of not being honest with it because of the simple fact that you don't want to be held accountable. But then we say, we watched our fathers, we watched this, we watched that. When are we going to say, in order for me to be able to understand what love really is, I have to strip myself completely naked of what I was taught? Because what you was taught was complete bullshit as to why bullshit is happening in your life right now.
I said that on Sean G podcast a couple of days ago. Miss Quintita was on there, but I just want to say this before we can actually learn how to love again, we got to learn how to heal. Because
Right. But
if we're
hold on,
up,
Terry. Hold on. Before you say that, I'm gonna speak from my experience.
okay,
Okay. We had a women's retreat with Quatita in October, and what I said was, I want to learn how to love again. And in that moment, that was the most vulnerable I had ever been in front of a group of people in my life.
mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I had to understand that this is the truth. But in order for me to be able to understand that with loving again, I had to strip my heart of all those negative things, everything that put me into the space of understanding what love I thought I knew. I
Right.
had to strip myself to the original point of that. And with me understanding that, I knew that with the healing that comes with it automatically. Because once everything is stripped, you're automatically going to heal. And it's going to be an understanding of, oh shit, I was really holding people accountable for things that they never needed to be held accountable for.
I said that too.
So
But
ultimately,
another
the
thing y'all
healing
have
is
to
going to be automatically. But with the love comes the prize of all of the great things that stems from love, for which we should have already understood anyway.
come on now.
but before you can do that, we need to work on learning how to accept love.
Well, Sean, let me say this real quick. The only reason why I said we need to learn how to heal first and then love, because you see it every day. People are breaking up and going being in another relationship within a month's time, and they haven't taken any time to heal. I think that everybody needs to face their look at themselves in the mirror. I think it's time for people to look at self. If we focus on self and correct ourselves, nobody would have to correct us because we will already be walking in our godlike energy.
This is true, but people need to also learn how to accept love.
Yeah, but this is what you keep. Okay, let me touch on
But
that.
wait, hold on. Let me say something,
Oh,
Terry.
can I?
How
I
can
have to
we
touch on that, please.
how can we learn to accept love when we don't even understand what it is? See, understanding what love is by yourself is within that healing journey. So therefore we can be able to understand what your love language is. Love language does not come automatically. It comes with constant communication. You said earlier the only way that you're able to know all of these great things about your wife is that you decided to take notes to understand the things that she liked. So that with your love language and how you communicate with your love, you are able to shower her with all of these great things that she loves and she desires. So
Correct.
ultimately, in order for anyone to be able to accept what love has to give to them, they have to understand what love is in general. And
Right.
what it is a healing process. You
So
have to be ready to heal to understand the bulk of how powerful that LOVE is.
yes,
Don't tell me if you love me if you don't understand the love of yourself.
yes,
This is true.
that's
But do
true.
you know why she's able to? You know why she's able to love me the way she do?
How?
Because she accepted the love that I was given.
But she may be a healed woman, Sean G, at the time to say, you know what? I understand this love language. And outside of that, because of the woman that I am and where I am in life, I can understand and accept where he is. Every woman is on a different level.
Yeah.
Every woman experiences different things, and every man is on a different level as well. See, men look at you, Sean G, and expect their woman to give them level 36 when they're on level 1.
Right.
You haven't even done the homework to
Mm,
even get the catered to, the lemonade, the food, the cooking, the hey baby, how you doing? The text. You have not done that work.
we just had this conversation.
Until you do the work within the inside of you, you have no reason or no fret to be mad at anybody for not accepting the bullshit you're trying to give.
Right on.
Mm,
People give bullshit and expect somebody to give them the Rolls Royce, Mercedes Benz, and the Lexus when you really have a lemon Toyota Camry.
I
mm.
like you, girl. I like you, girl. Say it then.
At
Go
this
on and say
point,
it.
we have to take the accountability. I'm so tired of us feeling as though that it is okay for us to be like, you know what, well, this happened, but I'm healed. No, you're not. You're bitter. And you have not told yourself, okay, I am bitter because of what man has went through with me, what he has done to me, all the shit he has put me through. But a man also have to understand that, you know what, Tamika, I cheated on you. I hurt you. I had a woman to fuck up what we had. And because of that, it is because I saw my father be the pimp. I saw my father be the player. I saw my mother disrespect my father and not take the love that he gave to her. That is your story. And you have to heal from that. But holding
Bat
somebody else
signals.
right. And because everybody wants to hold everybody accountable, nobody is really looking at themselves. You got to look at yourself in the mirror when you wake up in the morning. You're not looking at nobody else. Oh, well, in the rising, sorry. You have to look at yourself. When I got on this journey for healing with Aubrey, it was all about what do I have to do to make sure that I no longer feel the love that I had because it wasn't working for me. What I know now is that the love that I have gained and the love that I have learned now has given me Quatita, has given me Malika, has given me Jose, has given me my new family, has been able to give me people that love me in the same love language I love them.
Loved
You
ones.
you are able to put anybody in your life that thinks the same way you think when you get out of the rut that people place you in. You owe nobody anything. I love the fact that Quatita always says, you owe nobody nothing, but you owe yourself everything.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
This is for men and women. You
Mhm.
owe yourself that. So if you're still harboring over an ex that hurt you 5 years ago, you are still giving that person the energy. Gratitude, Malika. She always say, stop giving people your energy. For why? For what? It's no reason. But what are we giving ourselves? Ourselves are we are making ourselves the doormat on purpose. Go ahead.
I want to hear what True Tarot has to say about healing.
What I was saying is, love is the highest frequency. Frequency, we know that. But if we continue to try to love, and we're keep and so many people who are not doing the work, there's a lot of people who are, and gratitude to them. But there's a lot of people who not only are not doing the work, but don't know how to do the work. So the first step for that I feel like would be the best thing for our community is to teach and to help people, assist them better with their healing, so that we can unlearn all the BS that we have learned and learn how to truly love. Because a lot of people were not taught how to love themselves from childhood until adulthood. So it is a self-love thing. It is a look in the mirror thing, because when you point out everybody else's flaws, have you even assessed yours? So yes, I understand that, but I think the healing is what's needed first.
So, I heard what Shanji was saying about, and I didn't say Mr. Shanji speaker box say that time. Look at me getting comfortable. I heard what Shanji has said about being open to receiving love, being open to loving as well. I feel like both go hand in hand once you're in the space of the relationship. I think where Aubrey and True Tarot are hitting the target is that I would have never found the one to give that love to if I was not doing the work.
Correct.
If I was not, and that's the thing, a lot of people wait until the relationship or until that person is in their life to now maybe possibly start doing the work, but still show up for me how I'm telling you to. I'm setting expectations that I haven't met myself yet. You got to meet that. I'm not going to have patience with you, but I'm going to have patience with myself, and you better have patience with me too. That ends up showing up. And to what you were just speaking on, True Tarot, as far as doing that work and what's necessary in the community. This is why I give so much gratitude to my friend Quatiter and to Nini and the other ladies at the retreat for pushing me into my soul purpose, because that is the basis of Grand Rising. When someone opens the package and they call me and they're emotional, I express to them, this is the goddess's energy.
Right.
Because what's happened now is, like, when you get a package from Quatita, when you get a package from me, you're not opening it and it's just somebody stuffing something into a bag and like, take it, number, so on and so forth.
Right.
When you open this, we have changed your perception of the level of love you accept. Because I had a melanite man call me and say, Malika, I've never been given roses before. If you've received one of my packages, you know that I put fresh roses in them, because I want you to know your worth. I want you to get the experience, if you've had it before, to feel it again. If you've never had it, to know that I see you and I see that you deserve your flowers. And now with me doing that for you, how dare you go out into this world and expect any less? The bar has to be raised. And that's the importance of space and aligning with spaces that speak to you and feed you in that way also. Go ahead, friend.
Malika, can you speak on it in the sense of what True Tarot said and Shanji said about the healing and accepting love, and how people write you into their script because they don't know how to receive the love because they haven't done the healing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what Quatita is speaking of, what the governess is speaking of, listen, y'all, to the people who are new, Quatita is my nickname for Q, for the governess, for Quatita. I mean, Quatita, look, I always put the ER on the end. Anyway, what my friend is speaking of is a conversation that we had about a week ago, where it had dawned on me. We've always spoken about the abnormal being individuals normal. And I spoke about this the other day, where an individual will be in a house and you walk into that house and it has an odor and you're like, you don't smell that? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? Their abnormal has become their normal. So a lot of people show up in this manner in relationships. And what happens is they come with such a level of toxicity, but they know what it is that they've been craving. So when someone who's able to give those things that they've been craving appears, it's like, hold on, let me hold on to you. Let me grab you. Sometimes that shows up in regards to the bat signals as energy vampires. Other times it shows up as someone who really wants that experience. But what will then happen in the process is, because they can't match what they feel is required To have the experience in its entirety, they have to make you toxic.
Hmm.
They have to make the situation toxic in order for them to truly get the feeling that I can love in this space, because it's you're not abnormal enough. Again, the abnormal I'm speaking of is their normal. So they're trying to convert you to the trauma that is them. They're trying to convert you to the toxicity that is them. And they will write you into the script, into their script. They will write you in as a reflection of the monsters that they are running from,
Exactly.
so that they can feel comfortable with being in this space now. And so that's what Quatita is speaking of. And I feel like it's very dangerous, because you have some individuals that are showing up and really just want you to feel good. And we have this idea somehow placed within us. It's like that nothing good comes for free. What? Guess what is real good that is free? Happiness. Choose it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things,
Absolutely.
and you'll hear people say, "Oh, he's just being nice to you. She's just being nice to you. They must want something." No,
It's some
um,
genuine people.
it's
It
because
is.
I'm showing up as who I am, and it has nothing to do with you. It has to do everything with who I am in my essence. And if you feel like that is coming with something, you're going to be let down if you're around me long enough, because I know that my energy is exclusive and I don't give it to everybody. Everybody doesn't get to experience this. So
Absolutely. To
we
piggyback off of what Malika
mhm.
saying is energy. I mean, we have to learn how to change our environments for ourselves, not for anybody else, but for ourselves. We have to learn how to gravitate to what is good. That's why I love listening to Governess, and I love listening to Malika and the panel and Aubrey, because every time I listen to them speak, they're speaking life. Every time I listen to them speak, even with all the crap that is set on Governess' table, she's always trying to feed and feed and feed and give. Even with what Aubrey's been through in her life, she's always trying to give and give and give. And the healing inside, when Aubrey said strip down everything, and you literally have to. You have to strip down everything and change your whole thought process on everything that you learned negative. Because for me, my mom was that negative energy.
Girl, I was just about to go into that. Go ahead, girl.
She was a mom. She knew how to be a mother as best as she knew how to be a mother. She was never on drugs, any of that stuff. But you could tell she had plenty bad signals because she didn't know how to receive love. Because I don't think she was ever loved growing up. But for me, I watched her and I watched my dad, and I made a choice. Because could I have been like that? And not saying I was been perfect all my life. I haven't definitely have not been. It was a learning process, and it was a growth process. But you have to be open to the process. I'm very careful how I show up to people. I'm very careful how I speak to people. I'm very careful how I come at people. And Governess had to correct me one time, even in the chat. And she said, the way you came off to that person, how they received it. And even, in my own relationship, with my husband saying, the way you speak, it comes off sometimes not for people not able to receive it. So I had to dig within myself and say, you know what? That's not how I want to show up to people. That's not what that's not who I am. I'm about love. I'm about unity. And I guess that's why I gravitate to Governance in the panel so much, because what they feed us and what they give to us in their time away from their families and their loved ones to feed into us, if you're not learning something from this, if you're not learning something from following Governance all this time, and even for the new people, if you're not learning something about what love is and what it is to be loved, then you're missing out. I'm big on vision boards. I'm big on words of affirmation. You have to start somewhere. And even if it's starting small at just putting something together with positive words, energy is everything. And when Malika said, I haven't received anything from you yet, Governess, because I haven't ordered my cards or anything. but I have received the goddess spray from Malika. And when I opened it, just the essence of it, I felt that energy the moment I opened the package, and I was not expecting it. And it was just such, you could just feel the love that was put into that package that was sent out. And that's the thing that we have to start looking for. We have to start looking for what is good. And even I'm watching these TikToks and all this stuff. It's a lot of negative things out there about melanated people.
Can
You
I
have
step
to learn to
in
turn that off.
before Malika? Because I want to talk to Ro. Is Ro available? I'm always pulling Malika's husband in. But I wanted to respond to what you said, truth be told. In order, in tarot, true tarot, in order for somebody to heal and receive the love, and to give the love, they have to be the love. You have to make the decision. You have to decide that. So many people don't decide it. You know, so many people won't decide it because of the fear, and that's what I was going to say, of being hurt from the mother. Shit, if I can't, my mother was my first God. If I can't trust my God, shit, I can't trust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're looking at it and all these people keep showing up to you fucked up, you know what I'm saying, you have to make a choice. I choose all the time to come back and either apologize, and say, you know what? Like I told Nika the other day, I said, listen, the way I may have showed up to you, no matter what was going on, however I took it, it was never my intention to hurt you. But that's how I showed up to you because I'm responding to how everything is hurting me. So I had to make a choice to say, I apologize. That wasn't my intention. And I love you genuinely. And that's why I keep asking her to come back up here because Black women are not angry. Black women can't get along. Black women know how to talk and fix shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to make that choice. What you gonna say, Nika?
I was just gratitude.
Goofball. Just a goofball.
That. But Shante, that's my personality on and offline. Like I'm such a goofball. But I was going to say sometimes, and I had to learn this. A lot of times we don't know, we can't identify what love truly looks like, how it feels, and what shape and form it come in. Sometimes, y'all, the love we give from people, we expect more, but sometimes that's all the love that they have to give. You get what I'm saying? And I'm listening to the love, 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 and I think the one thing we have to process is love ain't gonna always show up as unicorns and rainbows.
No.
Sometimes it comes with truth. Truth
Mm.
is love.
Yes.
Truth
Truth
is
is
love. You
truth.
understand? When you can hold someone accountable and yourself accountable, that's love for you. Because guess what? I tell my babies this all the time. You can lie to me all day long, baby. When you look in that mirror, you can't lie to that person. And
Mm-hmm.
in order to be truthful with that person, you have to love that person that you see. So I think this where people get like where the scale gets kind of off balance at because we want we really want everyone that has done their healing, and I show gratitude to everyone who has done their healing process because I know it was a long heavy road. But what people are seeing is healed, loved ones. You get what I'm saying? And of course we kind of skip some steps because we want y'all to get to where we are because it's so beautiful. It
It's
is. It's amazing. It
amazing.
feels good. I don't care what it looks like, baby, because let me tell you something. I might get up and won't feel like combing this nappy hair, but in deep inside, I'ma laugh. I'ma be giggly. I used to do this with Quatita all the time. I used to send her Snapchats because I was always operating in this happy space of love. And I always felt like if it's contagious and you, because I seen what was happening, you get what I'm saying? And I just always wanted to pass that on because I feel like it's an energy, right? And it's contagious. We know this. But also I dealt with things myself. I just didn't operate in them. I didn't sit in them. You understand? So sometimes love is truth and it hurts. It does. You get
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? In
Mhm.
order to be honest with yourself, it hurts you to be honest with you and tell you you're a nasty person. Guess what? Today you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That don't mean you don't love yourself. You love yourself enough to tell yourself, you know what, let me redirect and come again, but that's love. That's loving on you. And then we'll look for somebody to love us through that. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or we'll we'll go out expecting someone to love us through a hard day when we sometimes we can't even identify with what love truly is. So I do get the healing and the love, all of those things, but I think it's those in betweens that people are trying to get to realize that love will come with a hard day, love will come with truth, and love will come with some happy days. It comes with happy moments. It does. But being honest, it comes with more hard moments than anything because we got the world telling us that love isn't real.
Yes,
It doesn't exist.
it has to
That's
be
it.
accountability. Ro is there.
Yes.
I'm here.
Greetings, Ro.
Hey, what's up?
Um, I didn't want Shanji to keep being the only masculine shared. But I got a question. I don't know how much you've heard, or you know what I'm saying, but I know you've experienced, you know, melanite women. Period. You know, you come from one.
Hmm.
What would you say to a melanite woman that's looking to heal?
Let's look into here. Deep question. First you got to sit with self.
Mm.
You got to analyze before you step in a relationship with anybody, or even have kids. Say so. Relationship. Period. You got to sit with self and analyze self because we all have trauma. We all come from rough backgrounds. Even if we had good backgrounds, it's always some kind of trauma that we're dealing with, from a kid to teens to young adults. So, as a melanite woman, I would give the advice: sit with self before jumping in a relationship with anybody. Analyze one.
I have a
Become
second part to that question because I'm going to ask Shanji the same two questions. Okay, so I have a second part. You ready for it?
yes.
Okay. As a melanite woman that may be broken but also want to be loved by a melanite man, what would you tell her would be the most important way or thing that you would need for her to show up in that way?
You have to love yourself. That's it. Because you can't love me if you can't love yourself. We can't grow together if you don't know you.
Got it. Gratitude.
Can I add a third part to the question? And
Yes.
for Sanji as well? What about the woman that's in the relationship, that's in the marriage? It's been 10 years, it's been 15 years. How does she choose healing for herself as a husband?
I'm gonna tap into our relationship.
Uh-oh.
We couldn't She couldn't heal me, I couldn't heal her because we had so much trauma in our own. You have to it starts with self, and that's my thing. You have to understand who you are as a person before you can heal anything. So if you in that relationship, sometimes we get lost because we're trying to, I guess, take on the trauma of the other person, your mate, your spouse.
Mm, mm,
And when
mm-hmm.
you that, you just, what's that? I'm looking for that word.
Adding on to.
You adding on to your own. I'm trying to look for the words.
So now you're trauma bonding.
Yeah. So
Baggage.
how you gonna heal when you just putting more damage on top of damage.
You're distracted. If I'm distracted with saving you and rescuing you from your trauma, how do I ever heal then? And once we get you to that space of
It's
healing your trauma,
it's like a scab.
I like when
You
you hold my hand like
it's like
that.
a scab. A scab ain't gonna never heal if you keep cutting the top off.
Let's
Yeah.
go, my brother. Let's go, my
Mhm.
brother.
So you got to heal. You got to heal yourself before you can heal anything.
Gratitude, bro.
No problem.
And
Come on,
he gives me the space to do that.
come on, Shanji.
Ah,
Same
y'all
three
know I got
questions.
ADD. Y'all gotta ask me again.
Okay. So, what would you say to a melanite woman that's looking to heal? First question. That's the first one.
Um, can I go with the same answer he gave for that one?
Yeah, well, however you feel about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely need to fix yourself. Aubrey was correct with that.
Okay. So then what would you also tell a melanite woman in a relationship or out of a relationship? Um, what would she need to come to you to have a successful relationship as a melanite woman? What do we need? What do we need to do?
Come to me with an open heart and an open mind. Just come with a teachable spirit.
Mm, that's interesting. I like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, gratitude, Shanji.
Wait,
Um,
what's my third one? Wasn't it the third one?
it was those two, but Malika had added a woman in a relationship. So, like, what would you say to the woman that's in the relationship when she's trying to,
Well, okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm just being honest. I just be wanting to tell women to let me in. Like the same way you have your gift, your governance, right?
mm-hmm,
I truly believe in my heart that I was blessed with the gift to love.
mm, mm-hmm.
Like I don't care how hurt you are. If you allow me in, I'm gonna heal you.
Like everybody in the chat gonna cry in a minute. Like the fuck.
No, I'm just being honest. Like just pay attention to everything I've said today, right? And
Mm-hmm,
the most important thing that I always say in this life and mine is that I pay attention and I'm willing to learn.
mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of men who's willing to listen. Like women. You know, a lot of women, I'm gonna say a lot of people. God, I don't want y'all to jump me again. I'm gonna say a lot of people,
Gratitude.
yeah, a lot of people. Damn, I lost it. Um, what was I saying? Somebody help me.
You said
Willing to
heal.
learn.
Mm-hmm.
I said what?
A lot of people are willing to, I mean, that you were talking about being willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started saying a lot of women, and then you went to a lot of people.
Oh, listening. A lot of people don't listen.
Yeah,
They listen to wait for the break so they can respond instead of processing everything that I just said.
absolutely. Gratitude. True Tarot, it was a blissful moment to have you up here on this panel. Can you leave us also with some words, please? We're going to go around the panel.
I'm just gonna say I love us for real. I thank y'all for having me. And let's heal, people.
Let's heal, people. Come on, Queen Nika. What words you going to leave with the people, Nika?
No, she gonna come in laughing and giggling.
Okay. No. I was doing something. Um, hold on, yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. If
I've
I
been on her the
had,
whole time I've been cooking, Katira, and I'm done.
dang, where my plate? But anyway, okay.
You know what's up.
No, if I had anything to leave with you guys is, man, pour into you and love on you. Even in a relationship, I've had to learn to put me first. And of course, everyone around me thinks it's the most selfish thing that could possibly happen. But what I needed them to understand is if I don't have it, how can I fill you up with it? So fill your cup up first. Let your cup overflow first before you can pour into someone else's. and then we can do it. So
So no
love you
pouring from
all from a
a cup.
huh?
No pouring from an empty cup.
Nah, nah, nah. I love all of you guys from a genuine place. Governess, I greatly appreciate you know, greatly
Gratitude,
appreciate it.
Nikki.
And
Gratitude.
y'all have a great night. Love all y'all from a genuine place.
Gratitude. Love you too. Come on, Aubrey.
Mine is simple. Don't give up on yourself. You got to really be able to understand that this healing journey is going to be something that you have to be fully committed to. And I think that that is the biggest lesson that I'm learning throughout everything, because being committed to it, understanding that everything is not going to be like the panel has indicated. It's not going to be how you think it's going to be. You have to really take the time to understand you and what you want and what you're looking for and what you're asking for, what you're manifesting for. If you're asking for all of these wonderful, great things and you don't have any room to put it into your life, then why are you asking for it?
Mm,
You got to really take out the time to really just figure out the healing journey in the best way for you. It's for you first, and then everything else comes second. It's like you the main dish to the side dishes that's coming. Because together you make a meal.
gratitude, Aubrey.
All right.
Gratitude. Come on, truth be told. I'll go last.
I first want to say gratitude to you, Governess, and to the panel for having me. I love you guys, support you guys 110%. The thing that I want to leave with our audience is find your balance. Everybody can, you know what a scale has and how that balance levels out. Find your balance when you're off. Look within yourself to figure out how do you come with that balance. I'm always looking at a scale in my head and making sure that my life is balanced. And the only way that you can do that is, again, being open to change. Just look at yourself, look at your surroundings, and be open to change. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And I show so much gratitude to you guys.
Gratitude. Come on, Malika.
Okay, Quatiter. So, who? Okay, so I said about three things in my head, and I'm gonna pick one. Don't think that stripping yourself down is a foreign concept.
Mm,
We came here with that knowing. You were conditioned away from it. If you've done it once, you can do it again. As a baby, as a child, when we first get here, when we come from pre-physical existence, we choose us first with everything. And Quatita and I have talked about this before. I've said it on different stages and stuff in regards to when you're a baby, you talk how you want, you walk when you want. Everybody has to act accordingly. Do not feel like that is a delusion, because that was your first existence in this realm.
mm-hmm.
When we talk about filling cups, and for those who have not heard this concept as well, when you talk about filling cups and I'm always pouring out of my cup, it's never your responsibility to fill someone else's cup, just as it should never be someone else's responsibility to fill your cup. It is your responsibility to keep your cup full with all that is you. And in that, the same way Mr. Shanji, speaker boxer, I'm kidding, Shanji had stated that the importance is in learning. The first step is learning you and reading the most important book in your library, which is the book of you. Once you are able to fill your cup, you can then recognize other individuals that are giving off the bat signals in the best way of their cup being full as well. And that overflow is what many of you feel when you see us sit on this panel together. That overflow is what Quatita is talking about with Nika coming up here, and you can see that it ain't gotta be that when this is so beautiful and it could be this. It's your choice. You are the one who is in control of choosing what your reality looks like, what it feels like within this simulation. Choose accordingly and discern wisely. I love you. Gratitude, sis. Again, for
Gratitude.
having an amazing
Gratitude. Okay, let me
Oh,
get my Jerry Springer moment on real quick. You know how Jerry gave you the last words. Um, I wrote them down, so let me just go through them. First, your bad signals are not you. Recognize what they are so you can deal with them, heal from them, and learn how to love, choose you. And by doing that, you have to understand that you are enough, we are enough. Quatita's working on that. That is a daily process for us all, especially for me, knowing that I am enough and that I don't have to overcompensate or share myself unwillingly with people. So know that you are enough. You have to understand also how your table is set, because I firmly believe that as Melanites, we are the table. So when somebody comes to your table, how is your table set? Are you eating off of paper plates and plastic forks with paper napkins, or are you eating with fine china? So you have to understand that too. So you can't let somebody come and bring you dinner on a floppy ass plate. You understand me? Like if they want to be in your space, they need to come hard as china and present you properly, is what I'm saying to you. And so because today Malika and Shanji said the very same things to me today. Everyone cannot grow and everybody cannot go with you. Okay, so you have to learn that some people you're gonna have to just leave behind. Quatita, please, you're gonna have to just leave some people behind and learn how to be nice to yourself and be kind to others that also are a reflection of you, because you are the people that you surround yourself with. Birds of a feather flock together. So let me just say that, and I love you all genuinely. Gratitude for blessing my panel and coming on and sharing these words and just allowing us to know that we are enough. I appreciate everybody. Gratitude. All right, y'all.
gratitude.
Yes. Peace.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Gratitude for coming. Peace.